Welcome to Radio Radio X Music Video Interviews. I am your host, Justin Smulison, proud contributor here at RadioRadioX.com. If you are here, you probably heard part one of my interview with one of my all-time favorite musicians and guitarist, Mr. Rick Sims of the Didjits. Now you're here for part two. Well, we've got so much to discuss. We're going to discuss his time in the post-Didjits era and what he does now, including his time in the Supersuckers, his time in the Gaza Strippers, his time possibly in the Lee Harvey Oswald Band. We're going to find out. That's a huge deal for me. And what he does now as part of Rick Sims Sound Design, which is based in Illinois. Quick reminder that the Strictly Dynamite album, that's the best of the Didjits, will be released worldwide from our friends at the legendary label Touch and Go Records. That'll be out October 3rd, 2025. As you'll be able to tell, I'm a big fan of Rick. I love so much of his post-Didjits work. That's actually how I found him. So we're going to retrace a couple of steps and get some inspiration for all you young musicians out there who are looking to make things happen. So let's get to it. RadioRadioX.com audiences worldwide, please welcome the unsung hero of rock and roll, Rick Sims. If you don't mind, I mean, we're not going to do your entire career, and I don't want to just rehash stuff, but for anyone who can't see it, I am wearing a Supersuckers shirt because you did join the Supersuckers.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
I don't know if you remember this one.
I don't remember that one.
It's a funny shirt, though. It's like, hey, kid, come on in. And the kid's like, okay, devil, you got it.
Welcome to Satan, yeah.
Exactly. And there you are with the band. And I remember, and there you are in there. And it's just another, and this is only a couple years after Que Sera Saran. So, yeah. Or at least when it was released. So this is you also, you know, you've got the fire and you're playing with Eddie, who's the only member left of the Supersuckers who's still playing. But it's a fantastic album. This was the first time I'd ever heard the Supersuckers also.
Oh, really?
So that was why I found the Didjits, because I think I saw an interview where it was mentioned that you were in the band. So I was really into Rick Sims at this point in my life, and this was a really cool album. Do you have any? I know ultimately it wasn't the right band for you at the time, but do you look back on this album with a lot of fondness?
Well, I look back on that time with a lot of fondness because I got to go, do a lot of traveling, doing a lot of having fun. Yeah. But I did not, there was too much weird, I don't know what it was, personality conflicts in that band to enjoy my time being around the dudes. But I got Paul Leary, the Butthole Surfers guitarist. I got to work with him on a record, and
yeah.
He's my fucking guitar hero and shit. And he asked me if he could change a pickup in my guitar. I said, yeah, hell yeah, man, you're Paul Leary. I'll do whatever you say. And I've still got that pickup in my guitar, and we did a couple things with Willie Nelson, met Willie Nelson.
Yeah, because you're on the Twisted Willie tribute, right?
Yeah. Right. And I was so lucky to meet him because, I'm never a fan of country music, never been a big fan, but when I met him, he's the nicest dude in the whole fucking world. And I was like, I met the Ramones, what a bunch of assholes, and I met Willie Nelson. It was like really fucking cool. And I was like, oh, I wish I would have been the other way around. Not really, but wish they were both cool. But there was a few songs on there that I put forward that I thought were good. I think the thing about me and that whole thing was that it kept me in the game.
Yeah.
It kept me, after the whole Didgits thing, it kept me like with something to do. And looking back on it, I had a lot of issues that I was dealing with myself, like trying to deal with the touring, trying to deal with not being the main dude in the band anymore.
Right.
Not playing my own music, trying to go like, oh, how am I going to get fulfillment and not doing my own thing? And
yes.
And it showed after a little while, but I did feel like it, I don't know if it was, what do you call it? relevance, but it kept me in a public eye in a certain way. I got to do a video with Linda Blair of
Yeah.
and
Was that Born
um,
with a Tail? Was that the
yeah,
song? Yeah.
and and so that was cool, working with her, and so a lot of cool things happened that time for sure. I look back on it with fondness, getting flown out to Seattle to it felt like I was a rock star. You know
Right.
what I mean? It was pretty cool.
And the really cool thing also is that we hear your voice in addition to your guitar on almost every song. You take lead vocals on Run Like an MF, but you're there. You're providing a little extra oomph in this album that I don't think we had heard previously on the other Supersucker albums, and maybe not for a couple afterwards either. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think Ron Heathman supplied some background vocals, and he was pretty good. Ron Heathman was really, just a great guitar player, RIP. And I think his vibe, he was lifelong friends with guys. His vibe fit in better, but I feel like, I was like, I come into this situation and it's sort of a replacement of Ron Heathman, or a temporary replacement, whatever. I don't
Yeah.
don't know or care. And it was, what do I do here? I've got I can sing, I can play guitar. What do you want me to do? Should I do that? And you want me to sing back up? I can do that, not knowing if they wanted me to do it or if I should just kind of push myself forward.
Right.
And I think kind of that's where a lot of the problems happen, because the other guys in the group are like, who the fuck does this guy think he is?
Wow.
Um,
It's cool though. There's a song even in there where all you're saying is the word "oh yeah," but you know it's you. It's a song called "Hitting the Gravel," and then in the background, right before they go back to the chorus, you go "oh yeah," and I'm like, "Oh, well, he's there. He's in every moment. He's bringing it in every moment, even if it's just some little David Lee Roth type thing like that."
Oh yeah, well, no pun intended. But every time I perform, or every time I record, and you can call that performance, I guess. Anytime I do something artistically, it's like I'm 100% fucking invested. There's no phoning in anything.
Yeah.
I always think that, I'm adding this like groundbreaking thing to whatever I'm doing. I'm getting in there and getting it done, and that's probably one of those things which I probably thought, I'm going to do this. Oh yeah, it's going to be what's that? This is really important. This. Oh yeah. So, yeah, you can definitely tell. I create by my voice. Is very recognizable.
Oh yeah.
I'm always at the top of my passion, level of belting.
Yeah. And you were what would we call it? Were you an alto back then?
Tenor.
You were really?
Yeah.
Back then.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. And what are you now? A baritone?
Ha, shit. Barely tone.
Oh yeah.
But no, I'm still trying to be a fucking tenor, you know, and yeah, it's been an interesting few months trying to work myself back up to that whole thing, because at 28 or even 32, you're a different person physiologically than you are at an age that shall not be disclosed.
Right, but we can do the math.
I figured. Hopefully all your listeners are smart enough to be able to do the math. But.
Yeah. I think if you're on a record 32 years ago, they can figure it out roughly. Yeah. I was wondering also, just jumping ahead a little bit, after the Digits, after the time at Supersuckers, you started a group called the Gaza Strippers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering, do you get more hits on Google now because of the last few years?
Oh, I don't even track the hits on Google. And
really?
And maybe you were just we're saying that as a thing.
I'm half serious. Like, okay, yeah, like I'm not making light of anything, but I do wonder, people are typing in Gaza Strip all the time, right?
Oh yeah.
So this must come up every once in a while. It has to. And by some, people are going to click it. They're going to go, Gaza Strippers. Are they talking about actual strippers in Gaza? And then they're clicking it and they're going, what is this rock and roll album? And like that, we
Yeah.
haven't done that much metrics and data analysis.
Well, I think if we were really getting a lot of clicks, or if people were really looking at that, we'd have a lot more hate mail. And so we don't have a lot more hate mail, and no one's going like, this is so inappropriate, you need to be banished from the world.
Right.
But I'm sure people come across it. And there's also another Gaza Strippers, which unbeknownst to me, that was actually, I think, from the Gaza Strip.
Oh, God.
They were like this, dance techno band or something.
Really?
Yeah, and but yeah, no, I like the name Gaza Strippers. I think a lot of people get it wrong, like we were doing something silly, like strippers in Gaza. But the Gaza Strippers are like the most fuck you to the man rebellious people in the world. Now, it was probably, what do you call it, insensitive to use it as an American rock and roll band name. Give you that. But I still believe that, if you're talking about a group of people that are constantly trying to be resilient and work and to live in the face of that sort of oppression. That it's a pretty cool band name,
Yeah.
So.
And you released a few albums. The only you look on Amazon, you can't find Dr. Free Pill for less than $50. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Wow. You talking like CD or?
Yeah, CD, man.
Huh.
I was supporting you this whole time, but that one was a tough one. But no,
Did you find it?
Yeah, no, I mean you can find it. But I want
but
it
it's
from a
for
reputable.
$50.
What's that?
It's for $50. Okay.
It's a $50 album. I mean, if I was buying it from you directly, it'd be a different story. So there's that. But when you do these, what I don't want you to. I only want to bring up the good times. But I mean, these were fun albums for you as well. I know fun is a relative word, but you're proud of these albums, right?
Yeah, I sort of felt. Yeah, I am a little bit, maybe a little. It's really thin because I was trying to do something different, and I don't know how well it came off.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, I was trying to do something that had the same spirit. So I'm not sure exactly what it was. It was.
These were rock and roll records. They weren't as punky. There were moments, for sure. But no, they were a lot of fun. They're just they're fun listens,
Yeah, I do. It's hard to talk. It's hard to know about those things. Hard to try to frame those things in a way because, starting out the Digits in the Chicken Shed with my brother and some guy from Mattoon, and then having been through that whole thing, and then it just became about like, oh, we're going to start the Gaza Strippers from the baseline of, oh, that's Rick Sims from the Digits, and he's going to expand. So then I once again felt that pressure of like, well, it's got to be a certain sort of thing.
Right.
It can't just be acoustic love songs. Otherwise, everybody's gonna hate you and hate me. And so I tried to once again push the envelope a little bit, but still kind of keeping it a little true. And now looking back on it, I'm going like, I should have said fuck the envelope altogether and did what I wanted to do. So it's a little problematic and troubling, but again, we did well, and we had fun and we had another rock and roll experience. Yeah.
And when did the Gaza Strippers disband?
I don't know. It was like, I think 2004 or something like that.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't about 4 or 5 years after you recorded 1,000 Watt Confessions. Sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then bring everybody up to the now. You have your own sound design studio and you do work with theater and productions, right?
Oh yeah. I'm man, I do a lot of stuff. I do film sound designing, composing. I do composing for live theater here in Chicago, Rick Sims sound design, composition, where I show up at theaters, and I go like, and they go like, okay, we need sound effects for the thunderstorm coming through, and I put a bunch of sound effects like rain and thunder and all that stuff into a computer, and they play it back over the sound system. And usually I have to design that sound system. And then
Mhm.
they say like, "Oh, hey, by the way, we need music for when the lights go black, so it's just not everybody sitting in quiet in the black while we switch the furniture."
Right.
So,
Like
I
transition music, right?
yeah, transition music, exactly. And, so I make some of that stuff, so I'm, like, sitting there doing, like, any kind of music, if the play's, like, set in the 1860s, I'm making music that would be maybe from the 1860s, or rock music, classical music, whatever, millions different kinds of music. So, um, yeah, I got into that after moving to Chicago. Yeah, as, working with, David Schwimmer when he was, and he has a theater company here called Looking Glass Theater Company, and,
Mhm.
my wife was a member of that theater company and then folded in with them. Actually, when I was still with Digits, I was doing, um, a show with them called West, and it was, like, surf music and stuff, so I was like, "Dang, man, this isn't too far from Digits. Okay, I
Right.
can do this," and yeah. So, my wife was a big fan and got me in. Nepotism all the way.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Living it up with Schwimmer.
Yeah.
And so you that's kinda your bread and butter right now, right? That sort of thing, sound design and live productions, things like that.
Yes, and I'm also teaching sound design to high school kids after school, an extracurricular sort of thing.
That would blow my freaking mind. If I knew if I'm telling you, because my daughter just started middle school yesterday, and if I knew that Rick Sims or a Rick Sims caliber individual was teaching sound design as an extracurricular, I'd say, "Get your freaking ass over there and learn everything you can learn."
Well, that's good. I'm glad you're saying that and not like there's no way I'm letting my kid anywhere near this crazy
No, no,
jackass.
no, no. I think, you've got a lot of knowledge to pass on in this regard, and
Yeah, and I love that. I gotta tell you, I
yeah,
feel like I'm getting paid for it, yeah, but you know, I'm I don't know why, but I just love teaching kids how to make program songs into a show, how to,
right.
and this and that.
Let
It's
them use
funny.
the technology and their creativity and whatever musical ability they might have and kind of package it in there, right?
Oh yeah, and they're in there because they like theater and they don't know how it works, and they get when that once they see how it works and what it takes and the collaboration involved, it takes it to a different place.
Right.
It takes them to a way deeper meaning, way different understanding, and not all those kids are going to go to the theater, but they start to understand like, oh, whatever I do, I can do it. I just got to figure it out. It
Right.
doesn't need to be so intimidating. Even if something that appears intimidating on the surface doesn't have to be intimidating, and I can figure it out and work my way through it. So,
Right. And you're there just to guide that along. You're taking the raw passion for it and you're just kind of putting molding it a bit. That's
yes,
exactly it.
I'm creating the leaders of tomorrow, Justin.
Yes, you are. I know you're goofing with me, but I actually think that you are. So there you go.
Well, it's funny because that's mainly what I try to do when I'm there. I'm trying to like, look, you can't just sit in the back.
Yeah.
You've got what it takes to be in front here, and you've got what it takes to do all this stuff, and don't let your anxiety of like, "Oh, I don't know," get in the way of actually doing it. And you've got a duty to do that. You
Right.
know,
This
Don't-
is the place to get it wrong so that you can get it right later.
absolutely,
Yeah.
most
Absolutely.
definitely.
So, Rick, there's an album also on Touch and Go called Blasternaut by a group called the Lee Harvey Oswald Band, and it's actually my favorite rock and roll album of all time, and, it
No, no hyperbole there, right?
no, 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 it's like this is it. When we talk about how when I hear certain music, it makes me feel like a high school kid again. This is the one. And there's a guy on here on this album who sounds like you. We're not sure if it's you, right?
Well, it is. It's Dredge. I know it's Dredge, right? That's who it says it is on the album cover.
Yeah, and he plays bass. I have a hard time imagining Rick Sims playing bass, but yeah, his name is Dredge. And this is just for anybody who's never heard it, this is the rock and roll album. I'll take it over anything.
Did you tell him what the title was?
Blastronaut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't hear you say that.
Sorry. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, I say it in my dreams. So I know that you're not officially, there's no piece of paper that says that you're on this, but what are your thoughts about this album?
I love that record. I mean, that record, I mean, full disclosure, everybody knows now that I was on the freaking record. And so what it was me and my friend, I had this friend, his name's Savick. He was Zowie Fender Blast on the record, and he had some songs, and I was always like, man, why don't you do something? Once again, it was another dude from Central Illinois that was a loser and couldn't put his songs, didn't know how to make a record, didn't know how to do anything. I was like, but do something, man. Let's do something. And he never would. And then finally, I got him to do it. Me and my friend David Landis, the guy who does all the record jackets. He's the graphic design artist, who's like the right-hand man of this crazy world we've created.
Yeah. Same guy. His name is here too. Yeah.
And he played drums. We talked Savick or Zowie Fender Blast into giving his songs and letting us do whatever we wanted to with these songs. So that happened with the first record. We had a few songs that were his. I got a couple that were mine, and we did a cover song. And we just put out a tape. We're just going to put out a tape or a local tape. A lot of bands are putting out local tapes, and we're like, yeah, we'll put out one. It'll be funny. No one will know who it is, and it will, And then Dave Sims of Jesus Lizard was in this record store one day when I was playing it, and he's like, "Is this you? You should send it to Touch and Go. I think they might like that."
Yeah.
And of course, Corey calls me back up and says, "Man, that's really great. We want to put out that record." So we did, and then that started the Lee Harvey Oswald thing with the same formula of putting out a record, which was me hounding this guy who sort of didn't want to do anything and lived in Mattoon or Champaign, whatever, to give us more songs. Okay, so we'll take those songs, and I would make a couple of my own out of it. So, but make sure we had a whole record together. But he was a prolific songwriter. He put out 1 million songs, but only like a couple of those. We'd have to sift through tape after tape after tape and go like, oh, I think we finally found one.
Oh wow, it's like that.
Yeah.
Like untangling the knot, but in a good way. Yeah.
And so we'd finally find, I don't know, 7 songs that were decent. And and then, Blastronaut, our whole, what do you call it? The whole idea, our whole love of doing that record was we really loved like T-Rex. Mm-hmm. We loved punk rock. We loved
David Bowie, I'm guessing.
Yes. Well, he did Psychedelic Furs and David Bowie. We loved David Bowie. I mean, personally, I'll speak for myself. I love David Bowie and love Psychedelic Furs, but he actually mimicked them in how he sang and how he wrote music. And so we take that. Oh, let's do the punk rock version of David Bowie. Let's do the punk rock version of T-Rex, punk rock version of da. And use some of those things. Like a lot of on Blastronaut, you're going to hear like Flo and Eddie vocals. I was like totally ripping off Flo and Eddie and the background vocals that T-Rex or Mark Bolan used for the T-Rex records. And so it was the love of rock and roll that really kind of was the spirit behind that record, and the idea of when rock and roll, I don't know, it was just a time in my life when rock and roll was it's more fun, I guess, instead of Metallica. And nothing Metallica. I don't mean to show on Metallica. I'm just, but
that's serious music. This is a little bit more lighthearted.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And it's also more rock. When you play, you think of like when rock and roll started, it was 3 chords, and Little Richard screaming about his Lucille or whatever, and it hadn't. It appeared to come farther than that with David Bowie, but in the fundamental sense, it really hadn't. It was still that sort of same formula of how to put those chords together in a way that brought a certain climax and made it feel good, and and it means something more to the kids because he's dressing androgynously, you know. And then, you know, we get into the whole Kiss thing with all the dressing up and the whole so it was kind of took us back to our high school days, and we put it forward, and we knew we had good songs, and we put it forward in a spirit of what, you know, the Didjits were and what punk rock was.
Right. And what was the guy's name? What was the singer's name? Savick?
His stage name?
No, I know his stage name is Zoe F. But Zoe Fenderblast. But what was his first name?
Savick. Savick N. He changed his name. His name before he changed it was Dave Simmons.
Okay.
He was from Vandalia, Illinois.
Amazing. There was real quick, there was a guy who heard our old interview from 5 years ago. He reached out to me on Facebook. He said, I'm a huge Lee Harvey Oswald Band fan. And so I said, that's great. So we're friends. And he thought he had been digging so hard that he thought that the singer was the singer of a group called the Sisters of Mercy. And because he wrote about it on their fan page, he said he got banned for asking the question.
Oh my God.
Apparently he was wrong. And I was wrong all these years. I always thought it was Gibby Haynes doing a British accent. Not right. So
well, that's one thing we really love to do, was to fuck with the media.
Yeah.
And
your fans.
Yeah. And, you know, because if they would have known it was Rick Didjit, they would have been all about the fucking Didjits.
Right.
And, you know,
you didn't want to distract.
And if they would have known who it was, Dave Simmons from Vandalia, it wouldn't have meant a hill of beans to anybody, and wouldn't have been as near as cool as Zowie Fenderblast from Planet Mars, you know, or from nowhere, and everywhere at the same time.
And you're playing guitar on that record, right?
Yeah, I'm playing all the instruments except the drums.
Okay, that's you can hear it in the solos. In my opinion, you can hear it.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And then so this closes a huge chapter of my life. Needing to know this stuff.
Ruin the illusion for you.
No, this is way better. Because then it would have been the same thing. Like, oh yeah, it would have been Gibby Haynes, and it would have distracted from that. I know you got to go. I love talking to you. What do you want to tell the fans who are going to come out to Riot Fest, who are going to see for at least for that first day, the reactivated Didjits?
Put a pillow on your ass, because we're going to kick it, for one. And I think, you know, you're going to love the new guys, and I think we're going to bring full rock power, the full Didjits rock power back to life, and you're going to fucking love it.
You got the set list all ready to go?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got 3 weeks left. I would think that's probably the first thing on your mind. Yeah. That's great. So I'm so excited. And then hopefully if more activity happens in the Didjits camp, I hope we could pick up and do this again, because I could talk to you all day.
Yeah, man. Anytime, Justin. I appreciate the interest in the work.
Yeah. And thank you for teaching our youth.
Yeah. Well, let's see how that turns out in a few years. But I think I'm doing okay.
Yeah. Great. I can't wait to see some of the footage, and we'll continue to be in touch.
Right on, Justin.
Thank you, Rick.
Thanks, man. See ya.
Special thanks again to Rick Sims of the Didjits for joining us here on RadioRadioX.com. During this interview, we played clips of songs from the Gaza Strippers, the Supersuckers, and the Lee Harvey Oswald Band. It's a real thrill to play these songs. Right now, you're hearing Kaiser Hanser Han from the Didjits. Links to the music are on the show notes. And remember, on October 3rd, Strictly Dynamite, the best of the Didjits, will be available worldwide from our friends at Touch and Go Records. That includes the re-release with a purple single 180-gram LP. That's a limited edition of 750 that are out there. Links to the band are on this interview's show notes. And as always, be sure to make legitimate purchases of the music, merch, and tickets to support hardworking artists like Rick Sims. And if you're in theater and events, be sure to check out ricksimssounddesign.com. And head on over to RadioRadioX.com for all things music and entertainment. We've got reviews, interviews, and more coverage. I've got an interview with local drumming favorite Jason Bittner of Shadows Fall and Category 7. And another iconic metal drummer, Mark Zonder, formerly of Fate's Warning and now with Warlord and A through Z. And another with powerhouse drummer Sean Duncan of LA Guns. I've also got interviews with John Bush, the singer of Category 7 and Armored Saint, and Flotsam and Jetsam guitarist Michael Gilbert, my good friend Robert Mead of Nighthawk, and internationally acclaimed rock singer Ronnie Romero, and more. I'd like to thank Art and Rob and everyone over there at the Radio Radio X headquarters. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and all social channels. And be sure to keep coming back to RadioRadioX.com for more updates. I've got more video interviews on the way as well. I am Justin Smulison, new contributor here at Radio Radio X. Thank you so much for tuning in. There's more on the way.